Welcome to another Shake the Dust podcast. Today, I have a unique individual, and that's how he describes himself, as unique. And he definitely is. Him and I have an instant bond. I call him an old buddy because I feel super connected to him. He was actually a client of mine from a fitness business that I have, 321 Go, and we met at a seminar. He'd been a client for ours, and we met at a seminar, and man, we hit it off. There was 50 people there, and yeah, there's some people that I connected with too, for sure. But man, this guy and I connected on a deeper level, and we knew there was something special. And so we got to talk today and had an amazing conversation about some really cool topics that are near and dear to my heart. What it means to live a real life, a genuine life, to be authentic. And he talks about that in his past and what that means to him today. We both have a genuine love for music, and we kind of get to talk about that as well. And he gets to share about who he is. I don't think he's been given that opportunity to really talk about himself. And today we do give him an opportunity, to give him a platform where he can share who he is, just the difference that he's making in this world. And man, I couldn't be more stoked to have my buddy Steve Macioci. Oh my gosh, I'm not sure actually how to pronounce his last name, but yeah, I'm sure I massacred it. But Steve, dude, welcome to the podcast. All right, welcome, Steve.
Hello.
Yeah, man. Good to have you on the podcast. I always get super stoked. Yeah, man, I always get super stoked for these, just because there are people in my life that I've admired or I've looked at that made a difference, and I mean, you're one of those. So I'm looking forward to give you an opportunity to give you a platform just to share about like who you are, kind of what you're about, and then just ask some questions that I'm curious about, from you. And then we'll go from there. Like, these questions, I didn't send them to you beforehand, so you have no idea what I'm going to ask. So I think it should be a fun conversation. Hopefully you won't look at me with like a blank stare. So
All right.
it's all good, man.
I'll improv through as best as possible.
Yeah. You're always good for a good conversation, for sure, man. Well, cool. Hey, Steve, why don't you give me a quick backstory on what you're about and kind of what you've been up to, and then we'll kind of go from there.
What I'm up to. Well, we met obviously because of my gym. I own CrossFit Ignite in Jersey, and I joined your group 321. So that was where our meeting was. So I have that company, CrossFit Ignite. I also have a side passion project company called STB Records, which is like, see my vinyl collection back there, where I make vinyl records for stoner rock and doom metal. So that's a lot of fun. That keeps me plugged into my past life a lot. And and then I just try to go through that stuff each day.
I love it. Tell me about where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Jersey, North Jersey. So
okay.
My town was called Lincoln Park. It was a little suburban town, but we were about 20 minutes from Manhattan.
Okay.
So the access to a whole different planet was right at my fingertips. As a kid, I grew up in Jersey, like I said, in the suburbs. The beauty of it that I always said was like I was able to go into chaos and then retreat back and rest my head in the quiet.
Nice.
So BMX bikes and skateboarding and getting heavily involved in like the punk rock music scene in New York was all like super cool as a kid, to be able to have access to that like magical world. And I remember just getting on trains with my skateboarding friends and just going down there and just exploring,
Yeah.
And looking back, it's just like, I always think about the woods because I'm kind of in the woods now and there's hiking and stuff, but it's just like we were hiking when we were kids, just on a whole different kind of terrain.
Yeah, right.
So
looking for some crazy animals.
Yeah, it was a magical place. Like, the city has changed a lot, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, as a kid, always wishing I lived in California, because that was always where, again, skateboarding and biking, that was where that culture was. But then we had New York. It was a whole different animal. We had the grit.
Man, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I love music, and
You
man,
get
It's a huge part of my life. Can you imagine? Can you imagine our world without music?
No, no, not at all. Like, no, I won't even like laugh at that because that like music to me is medicine. Music to me is energy. Music to me is health. Music to me is every emotion on the planet. It's music has taught me how to embrace sadness and happiness and everything in between.
Yeah.
Like I could do this whole thing just talking about music.
Yeah.
Like
I'm with you too.
for a non-musician who can't sing,
Yeah.
like I've found a way to be plugged into that world any way possible. That's how much I crave it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
me, myself and my girlfriend Christy are way into music, and it's really interesting because we talk about it. We talk about like the artistry that goes into creating music. So you have like a poet, right? Who
Yeah.
maybe may write a poem or whatever, and that's it. And that's awesome. I mean, that's really
Yeah.
cool. But a musician not only writes poetry, but they also have to compose it, and then they have to perform it and put it all together. I just think it's a
And do
whole
it well.
nother what?
And then hopefully do it well.
Right? It's a whole nother level, which is just I just love when you hear a song that maybe you haven't heard before, or a song that's old, and then you hear it again like with new eyes, new ears, and you're just like, oh my, like it hits
Yeah.
you. So it's cool.
Listen, when like analyzing music is almost like a hobby.
Yeah.
I get off on when I know you can feel someone's passion through it,
Yeah.
someone's singing, and then you find
Yeah.
out the story behind them. And
Yeah.
like as
Yeah.
I get older, there's no genres that I won't go near. Like if
Right.
something's good and somebody's passionate about it,
Yeah.
even if it's not my thing, I can understand why people like it.
Yeah.
You know?
Please tell me, except for one, right? Please tell me.
Oh, there's I have a handful of like do not plays, man. I have like
Country. Please don't.
yeah.
You like
What?
country?
What?
You like country music?
It depends. Do I like pop country? No,
Yeah.
I don't like pop country. Johnny Cash, that's a different.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
You know,
Willie
stuff like that
Nelson.
is cool.
Yes.
Yeah, Willie Nelson
Yeah. I'm
and
with
that
you.
stuff. You ever hear Highwayman? Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson with a couple other dudes. I forget the name.
We actually were watching some old YouTube videos with Willie Nelson and Ray Charles.
Yeah,
Um,
see, like, dude, watching
right?
people all like just interconnect like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a great documentary on Netflix right now. I gotta send it to you afterwards, but it's all about this like valley in California where all these bands like the Mamas and the Papas, the Birds,
Yeah.
Crosby, Stills and Nash, they all lived in this pocket
Hmm.
and they all helped each other write
Hmm.
all those songs that we know to this day.
Yeah. Send
And
it to me.
uh, and
Yeah.
even the Beatles went out there for like inspiration.
Wow.
So imagine having the Beatles show up to your living room and they're just like making pasta and like strumming a guitar and they're helping you write your album. Not looking for song credits, not looking for publishing rights. It's just
Yeah.
it's like me coming over your house and be like, oh, what are you working on? Try
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
And it becomes like a song of like infamous
Yeah.
timelessness.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
killer. It's
man, I
killer.
get
It's
on
funny.
and on about music. You see, I
Yeah.
got.
No, actually, I started making music.
Did you?
Yes. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I'm using GarageBand and have a little MIDI keyboard and stuff, and I'm tooling around,
Okay,
but
great.
it is so fun. So
That my
fun.
nephew, me and my nephews play on GarageBand. He has an inherent musical talent,
Yeah.
like from inception.
Yeah.
He just has an inherent rhythm, and we play on GarageBand. He makes some beats down there that are like, right on.
Right?
Yeah,
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff for
right.
sure. Killer.
Are you writing stuff with it?
No, not yet. And so Christy actually plays piano and is amazing and has a great voice. So where I'm actually, and it's really funny because all this creativity that I've had all this time, and I'm a tech geek, right? So
Yeah.
it's like being able to combine those two has been super fun for me that I've just discovered, you know? So
That's interesting.
yeah, it's been really,
You have an ear.
yeah,
You don't
yeah,
have the technical,
yes.
but now you have access to the
Mhm.
technical side, and you can just use it. Huh. I didn't think
Oh,
about that. I didn't think about that angle.
yeah, it's really fun. So we're exploring. I'm actually want to take some, and this is completely off topic, but I love it. I want to take some sounds from Luke because Luke can't
Yeah.
talk, but he makes some really fun, unique sounds. I want to take those sounds and intertwine them into the music, to the beats, and kind of use them, which is kind of, it's just really fun. So I'm exploring and seeing what we can do If nothing else, it's just fun stuff for myself and for Luke to actually hear himself on a song would be amazing because he loves music just as much as we do. So much.
I just wrote a note down because, like you said, it's off topic. I'll tell you afterwards. But there's an artist that I want you to listen to that sings amazingly, but there's songs with just sounds of her just making weird sounds with her voice. And
Please
there's
send it. Please
yeah,
send it.
but it's mind blowing.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
that's
Cool,
really
man.
neat.
Let's kill it.
What's your favorite instruments? What moves you the most?
Oh, instruments. Oh gosh. Well, I mean, I love. Gosh, I don't even. I don't even know. I mean, I love acoustic guitar, but I love the
All
drums.
right, let's make a setting. If there's one instrument doing something that would bring you into like an emotional state, what would it be?
Um, Probably saxophone.
Yeah, see, cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
saxophone. Yeah,
Very cool.
and that just came. I was just like, what's that would be a great, just chill. I mean, I've heard some amazing saxophone. But yeah, saxophone. Like going into a bar
Yeah,
hearing saxophone, you're just like, that's legit, you know?
yeah.
So
I fall into like the fiddle, violin,
yeah,
those
yeah,
two. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And then the bagpipes because I have my mother's a Scottish immigrant, so there's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a connection with that.
And I played the accordion.
Did you? That's awesome. My father plays the accordion.
I have one. I have one. So I haven't played it in a while, but yeah, I grew up playing the
That's a
accordion.
tough inch. See, that's your
Yeah.
second tough thing. Accordion players are usually like the mental cases. Like they're like the tough guys. Like
Well,
who else
hello.
play the accordion?
Hello. It's cool, man. That's cool. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to change topic because I love it, but I have some things that I want to ask you. And then we can definitely jam on the music stuff. I mean, I knew that about you, but I didn't know. And I think we'll hit off topic with that for sure. But so I want to just share how I know you two and so why I wanted to have you on my podcast. And so yeah, you're a client and connected with 321 Go, but I think not I think, but we really connected when we were in Charleston. You know, when
Yes.
you came down for the seminar, like there was 50 people there, you know, but you and I connected, you know, and it was almost instant. Like we knew that there was something that like, okay, man, this person has been around the block a few times. I'm still trying to figure out what it means, but I believe I'm an old soul. I think you are
Yeah.
too. We've
Yeah.
been around a few times, you know what I mean? And we look at life a little differently as far as how we view people and how um, we want to attack this life that we've been given, you know, as an adventure. We don't want to miss out. Neither of us want to miss out really on anything. And honestly, I think both of us, and not me, I want to speak for you. I believe you actually cut through the bullshit. Like you're not that type of person where you live in this superficial world. You don't like that. You like to live like a real full life and you like to live that with passion. And
Yes.
would you agree?
100%.
Okay.
100%. I think it is a culmination of just who I was lucky to be born as, right? There's always that card.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a daydreamer. I could
Mm-hmm.
stare at the wall for 4 hours and be completely content. I think my surroundings were a big influence.
Mm-hmm.
Having immigrant parents, so there's a little harder side to my upbringing, but
Mm-hmm.
then also the region I grew up in, the New York City aspect, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
But that can also fall into like a fake side too, where people are always covered and guarded, which I
Mm-hmm.
never liked.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem showing emotion. I have no problem feeling feelings. I have no problem falling in love, but I also have no problem falling out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds hot and cold, but like you said, the real side. Again, I always go back to, I feel like a broken record, but like getting involved in the punk rock scene when I did, and just looking past the BS surface of it and really falling in with people and creating relationships. Like I'm 42. I have friends that I still call best friends for 30 odd years
Mm-hmm.
all over the place. Like I'm very fortunate and lucky. I call it like the magic ticket. Like I was handed this pass to live on the outside of what was the norm and be okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it makes you appreciate people for who they are, not what they are,
Yeah.
because you meet like again, New York City punk rock scene, get like every race, every gender.
Mm-hmm.
ageless, it
Mhm.
was genderless, it was raceless. Like it was odd for me to be 14 and meet an African American punk rock kid with a mohawk. I was like,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
thought this was just like white kids.
Mhm.
And then it's majority because of where I live. Majority of them were Spanish, African American, and then a lot of immigrants. So that was cool because I had that. And then your whole mixing pot.
Yeah.
There was a rough aspect to it too, where you know you can't be fake because you get called out.
Mm-mm.
And sometimes you get called out a little aggressively, so then it makes you think twice about your words, but then it also shows the passion behind the people that are your friends, because these are your friends.
Yeah.
And then fast forward into like training people and helping people, there's the compassionate side and the energy of like wanting to help people be better because you've been on all those different things.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. And what I see from you is what I don't see in most people, and is authenticity. Because you even said it, you can't be fake. And I think a lot of people throw those words around. It's like, oh well, I'm real. But what
I'm a
real?
terrible liar.
What's that?
I'm a terrible liar.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
terrible liar.
I can tell. I mean, obviously, it comes across in your body language and your emotions. So, I mean, obviously, what you're saying is how you feel, because that's all you can say. You can't say anything else. You can't make some. You can't make some. You can't make yourself be something that you're not. Right.
No,
Um,
no, I
which
get uncomfortable.
which I love, but that authenticity, and when you look at those people, and I'm not saying those people, but I'm saying when you look at like the punk rock scene, they're on the edges, right? They're
Yeah.
they're on the edges of what is quote unquote typical world. And that's always been the case. Those people that are on the edges of living, everybody normal, whatever
Mm,
that means. And I'm
yeah.
saying that I don't even know why I did this, but the reality of it is who is actually the genuine person? Is it the
Oh,
person that lives their life being like, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have this career job, I'm going to have 3 kids, I'm going to do this, and my life will be good? I mean, and for some people that's genuine, but for most people it is not. They're doing what is supposed to be doing, but then there's people that are on the edges, like they're on that punk rock scene. That's the people that are really living and who are like, man, I'm so into this, I can't do anything else.
Yes, and that's why I find it lucky that I found it at such a
Mhm.
young age, and it was just like a feeling inside of me knowing that, exactly like you just said. Also my mother was a huge influence of that, because
Yeah.
to make things even weirder, being like a skateboarder before things were really,
Hmm.
games and acceptable. Like I got arrested for skateboarding, literally, like, for skateboarding, like nothing else. Arrested.
Yeah.
My mom had
Yeah.
to come pick me up. But then I also grew up in a Pentecostal born again Christian home.
Yeah.
But my mother was extremely supportive and always drove me or pushed me to be myself,
Yeah.
accept who I am, and act the way I needed to act to be completely uniquely me.
Yeah.
So it was like, for example, like I would come home and my mother would be reading her Bible, but listening to the Doors. So she was like a hippie. So like faith was introduced to me, but like religious dogma was never
Mhm.
pushed on me. So I never had that guilt of like, maybe I shouldn't be listening to this,
Yeah.
because I was able to like understand the separation of what I felt was okay for me and what I felt wasn't.
Yeah.
Like I didn't buy into certain things, and certain things I didn't buy into on the other side either. And that was a huge thing, because I do see the other side too, with friends growing up where their parents were very strict and would force them to feel a certain way if they didn't follow this protocol, and
Mhm.
that's a living hell for some
It
people.
is. It
you
is.
know so like there's a sympathy on my side too for people that aren't 100% themselves, because it's not easy if you've been raised to feel that you were wrong your whole life
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
so I'm very lucky as well with that.
Man, I'm with you, and I don't even know, and I guess I don't even need to be careful, but I believe God's looking down, and He is so embarrassed by most Christians that are out there that He's just like, man, you guys are completely missing the point.
Yeah,
My
really.
goal for you is love other people, love me and love other people. Like if you try and overthink it with all of this religion and what you should do and what you shouldn't do, then you've completely missed the point. And I'm with you, man. Like there's no
Totally.
reason why you can't read the Bible and listen to the Doors.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with that?
That's crazy. That's just crazy. And so the more and the fact that you had that example and that has helped like shape you, that's awesome. So credit to your mom.
It helps me question everything because I
Yeah.
also think it's okay to believe in God and not agree with everything you read in the Bible.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's okay. Like I feel like people are afraid to have their own opinion about
Yeah.
things. And like you just said, God, I don't think God snuffs his nose because
No.
I love debate when it's
Yep.
respectful.
Yep.
I don't get involved in conversations where I'm just going to get
Yeah.
yelled at for no reason. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
I also get off on people having no idea where I stand on anything.
yeah.
Sometimes, you know, not that I don't have a flag to wave, but like
Sure.
I'm
Sure.
not getting involved in like a masked argument.
Yeah.
Stop it.
to prove that you're right and they're wrong, or vice versa. Oh
You
man,
know,
pick what's one word that would describe you? Don't think
oh,
too hard.
interesting. That's my safe word. I was gonna say weird, but I don't know. Just interesting, interesting.
It's good. Luke's got a T-shirt that says "Embrace the strange."
That's it.
Mm,
Listen, I have my mantra. Like one thing I learned from you was like, what are your core values? What are your values for your business? And I always took a lot of that stuff and try to like implement it into personal stuff
mhm.
because I need to learn on the personal side before I learn on the business side.
Yeah,
Because again, I can't. That's probably some of my issues with running a business is
yeah.
I need to be better at separating personal and
Mm,
I can't have a staff member and not be invested into their betterment in life,
yeah, yeah.
which that leads to crappy situations sometimes because
Mhm.
you get ran over, which is
Yeah,
okay, you know. But through the years and rewriting my values and stuff, it's come down to like one simple thing. Just my goal in life is to be a cultivator of experiences, period.
mhm, mhm.
No matter what that brings me or where that brings me. Does that bring me into like the gym business? Does that bring me into the record label? Does that bring me into this podcast? You know, like I try
Mhm,
to not say no to many things
mhm,
because I
mhm,
played Dungeons and Dragons the other night
mhm,
as a 42-year-old man for the first time in my life because I have a new client that just moved to the area and then COVID and he's young and he has no friends and he's lonely. I was like, what are you into? And he told me that. I was like, never played. Let's do it. I had one of the best 4 hours I've had in a long time. Pretending I was a wizard. Whatever.
Dude, you're way too far away from me. We would hang out every day.
Yeah. You know,
Chrissy would
like
get pissed. She goes, "Stop hanging out with that dude so much."
yes. Oh yeah, no. No.
That's killer. All right, so on your site, I was just looking for some stuff to kind of figure out a little bit about who you are. You got a quote on there, and I don't know how relevant if it's not, it's like, hey man, it's just a cool quote that I found, but it says, "Come out of the masses, stand alone like a lion, and live your life according to your own light." Does that have any relevance to you?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know how deep you want this podcast to go, but obviously one of the draws towards each other when we first met was our personal lives, how they were kind of parallel at the time,
Yeah.
our relationships. So there was a lot of self exploration. I went through the phase of this is not my fault. I've tried everything to the phase of what part of this is my fault
Mhm.
to the phase of to finally coming up to like realizing what I allowed myself to be pushed into, what I allowed myself to neglect and give up,
Mhm.
all that stuff. So, standing out like a lion and showing your light is like just don't ever compromise what you know in your heart is right for you.
Mhm.
There is no right or wrong.
Mhm.
That's one of my biggest lessons learned. There is no right or wrong. Like this pen is black, sure, but like if you want it to be blue, who am I to tell you that? Right? As long as that works for you. But as long as you don't push that on me to feel that way. And that's what I mean. Like, so there was a period of time in my life for a good 10 to 15 years where I compromised a lot of who I was. I
Mhm.
definitely hid my light. I definitely hid my lion because I am an outgoing person
Mhm.
out of fear of getting people upset or not doing what I thought a good person should do. And in hindsight, it's just like I had the answer right in front of me the whole time. It's just I ignored it. Like confront
Mhm.
and worry about your own emotions and how you're going to respond. It's funny. I just had this quote I wrote down this morning that nails this. And No, no, I'm going on a tangent, but yes,
No, you're not. It's all good.
that's the kind of, I wouldn't put a quote on my website that I didn't believe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one that'll just throw fluff.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Oh, so there's one more. I want you to just kind of explain what that means to you. We do not create an identity in our past failures.
Oh, well, come on. That's the definition right there. Um, at my gym, at least,
Mhm.
right? I don't want to speak for other CrossFits, but we just use fitness as a tool to create a better human, right? And a better person is physical, yes, mental, spiritual, whatever that is for you, internal, like so many people come in and they just are so hung up on the past. Like, I used to be this, or, well, I did this, that's why I'm this, and I'm fat now because I'm this. And that, it's just like you're allowing yourself to be this identity. People almost feel comfortable showing that they're, I hate the word loser. So lack of a better word. I don't think people are losers, but
Yeah,
like some people find like, oh, well, I'm dumb. So,
yeah,
this is just how it is. It's just like, well, who lied to you?
yeah.
Especially like I love training older female clients.
Mhm,
Younger female clients are a whole different animal, man. They have a confidence about them that their older generation does not have.
mhm, mhm,
And showing them that they're capable. Like, I
mhm.
have one client, she's in her 70s and we train, and like somebody lied to her sometime in her life, whereas she just was told she's incapable of doing lifting weights, as trivial as that is.
Mhm.
Man, she's a stud.
Mm.
But every session we do one-on-one, I have to spend at least 10 minutes pumping up her ego
Wow.
to remind her that she's capable, because
Yeah,
she's still defining herself on whatever happened in her life at that time.
yeah, yeah,
So the psychological aspect of training is, so, for me at least, so
yeah,
far beyond the
yeah,
physical nature of a deadlift. Yeah, you're gonna get fit. Yeah, you're gonna lose weight. Yeah, this is all byproduct. I'm not
yeah,
saying it's not important to you, but like, to me, I want you losing sleep at night
yeah,
because of that demon that you just came face to face with during a workout, because nothing exposes your bullshit more than like when you're just breathing heavy, sweating hard, and you can't escape.
yeah,
Like, that's why I do hot yoga. I'm
yeah.
probably one of the only people that leave hot yoga pissed off as opposed to relaxed. you know?
It's brilliant. Well, man, that puts a lot of, I don't want to say pressure, but I'm not going to say pressure because that's like undue anxiety. But I think that it challenges you in your business because you got to show up. You
Yeah,
can't
you
be
do.
fake because if that person, that girl needs some support, like if your cup's not filled up,
Yeah.
you got
Well,
nothing to offer.
that's life, though, right?
Hmm.
I mean, you, in my opinion, have one of the most challenging lives out
Hmm.
of anybody I've ever met.
Hmm.
But then you're also one of the happiest people I've ever met. At least good natured. I'm not saying you're walking around with like balloons in your hand every day, but like, you're not a woe is me, angry, depressed guy all the time. And I
Hmm.
know a lot of your background.
Hmm.
So that shows that you put time and effort into you, and the answer is always opposite of what everybody's doing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I get up at 3 a.m. every day.
yeah,
Why do you get up at 3 a.m. when you don't have to get up till 4:30? Because that hour and a half in the morning is me doing my mental preparation to like not want to tear my own eyes out of my face. Not like negative, but like, if anybody ever read my journals, I would be in like a psych ward, because I have zero
yeah.
filter in this. And I
Yeah,
don't mean half the stuff I say, but I need to write it down.
of course, it's your outlet. That's important. And for me,
Yeah.
um, and not that you asked, but I'm going to tell you, you get up at 3. I'm the opposite. Sometimes I don't go to bed till 2 or 3, and that's
Yeah.
because Christy and I are out literally talking about life, about the deepest shit you could ever think of,
Yeah,
about
man.
what makes us who we are, and spent 51 years living on this planet. And what are my next 50 or 25 years? What do they look like? You
And
know?
to me, that is the most important aspect of life. Like,
Yeah.
you work to finance how you want to live,
Hmm.
right? And uh, I'm a little bit of a punisher with this. People roll their eyes at me, but like, I think this whole COVID quarantine thing, aside all the negatives and deaths, like, I'm not
Hmm.
downplaying any of that.
Yeah.
If you were lucky enough to go through it healthy, like I was,
Yeah.
it was a complete exposure of your own BS
Yes.
and a
Yes.
complete urge of any of the fat.
Right.
And it made me realize so much stuff. Like before the quarantine and the shutdown, that let's take that example right there. You staying up with your girl all night
Mhm.
talking. I would be anxious during that period. I got to get up soon.
Mhm.
This is like, not that this is not important, but like, can we talk about this later? I'm always tired, blah, blah, blah. Now it's just like, no,
Mhm.
that's important.
Mhm.
I'll drink an extra cup of coffee,
Right.
because
Yeah.
like, why would you miss out on that relation? Like,
Mhm.
there's so much more to be gained there.
There's so
That,
much more.
and then you're in a leadership role
Yeah.
that you can bring to other people,
Yeah. Yeah.
So like that stuff is so important to me.
It
Like,
is. It is important. And that's the more real, the more genuine you can get with your own self, the more
yeah,
you let yourself off the hook and the
yes,
more you don't care what other people think. But you
yeah,
actually care more about people. You just don't care what they think. I don't know whether that makes any
sure.
sense,
No, it makes
but
100% sense.
yeah, but you
You
do.
know?
It helps you get out of yourself. The more genuine you can be, the more positive you'll be for other people, and it's being selfish in order to be unselfish,
Yeah,
you know?
I don't even look at it as selfish. It's almost the most selfless thing you can do for your family.
Hmm.
The most selfless thing you can do for your friendships and your relationships and your
Yeah,
business
yeah,
is get yourself in check. The
yeah,
more you aware you are of your triggers and yourself and your things, the better you're going to be for everyone else.
yeah,
Like dating the girl I'm dating now, she's one of the best communicators I've ever met in my life.
yeah,
And that is such a breath of fresh air because it makes me be a better
yeah,
communicator. But I'm also aware of my stuff. So when I'm starting to feel my chaos coming in, I'm easily going, hey, I need to remove myself from, I need to be alone for a little bit.
yeah,
This has nothing to do with you. This
yeah,
is really me. And I want you to understand this is why I'm doing it. And it's
yeah,
understood. And like to me, that's communication, that's self-awareness, and that's
yeah.
saved so much chaos. And it
Yeah,
makes you grow together and
yeah,
respect each other more.
totally.
You know?
Yeah,
So, but like you said, when you're invested in other people's lives, you need to put time and effort into yourself, or
yeah,
else you're just gonna get burnt.
yeah. It's good stuff, man. So, are you doing what you love?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Um, do I love it every day? No,
yeah.
but I catch myself. They like I always use this like driving home on a day I'm tired and I see the guys like working on the highway.
Mhm.
I'm like, man, I would kill at that job. I could get up at 5 a.m., get to work by 7. I'm punching out by 3, and I don't have to think about anything.
Right?
But then I'm real with myself, and I go, yeah, in about a month, you're going to try coming at the the guy running the show with better ideas how to make it more efficient.
Yeah, sure.
The guys are going to want to push you into the highway because
Yeah,
you make them work faster and harder, and they want
right.
to not work faster and harder.
That's
And
right.
you're going to become the manager, or you're going to get fired, and then
Yeah.
you're going to, yeah, it's just like, nah,
That
yes,
would not work for you. That
no,
is,
no, it's just in our blood. Like you would
it,
end up trying to like make things better
yeah,
for, like a system that doesn't need to.
yeah.
But I think that's a big, like I think there's this whole culture shift of like you said, bettering yourself,
Mhm,
putting yourself first so you can do what you love, do what you're passionate about.
mhm,
Absolutely.
mhm,
100%. But there should be like an asterisk that explains, be careful about putting your passion into play for what you want to do for the rest of your life because it will take away from that passion at some point.
mhm, mhm.
I do
Yeah.
daydream about not owning a CrossFit, and I know I would get in way better shape just working out at somebody
Yeah.
else twice a week. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
like hands down, like that's just I know it, but it is what it is too, because the benefit is way out far weighs those little things.
Yeah. So
But I am doing what I love.
awesome, man. So piggyback on that. So if money were no object, would you be doing what you're doing right now?
Yes, but not at such a great um level, maybe not as high. I maybe like a third of it. If money was no option, I would absolutely be trying to experience more things,
Yeah.
without a doubt, where I
Yeah.
wouldn't have to worry about
Yeah.
things. Maybe I maybe I wouldn't be as involved in like the gym as much, but I would still be there. But
Hmm.
with the money, I would pay my staff
Hmm.
regardless
Hmm.
to handle everything there,
Hmm.
which would make me feel better
Hmm.
knowing that I'm overpaying people for something that the gym's not even covering, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
Yeah. I know, right? It
But
just,
then I but then I think like if it was given to me in that realm, would I still respect it because there wouldn't
hmm.
be the hard work aspect?
Hmm.
Because I default to lazy immediately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think, oh,
I gained I was 212 by
yeah.
like June during the shutdown. Because as soon as we shut down, I was probably one of the only business owners that was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
I
it.
was like, I'm sleeping for the rest of March, sleeping in
Right.
every day. And then I'll start working out again in April. That didn't happen. And I
Yeah.
started eating pizza on Tuesday afternoons. And then
Yeah.
June rolled around and I went from 190 to 210. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, you look pretty fit right now.
Well, yeah, because I got the fear of God thrown in me when I tried
Okay.
putting my pants.
You're just like, yeah, this is not happening. That was obviously you're self-driven, so that was like, and you're so active, so you're just like, yeah, that weight's gonna be gone in like a couple of weeks. So
Active is nice.
yeah, active is good for sure.
The downhill mountain biking has been a great addition to life.
Yeah,
Like
you're too
that.
old for that stuff, man.
Oh, I love it. We just
Yeah,
started last week and like already we were on the jump line. Like I didn't think we would be riding the jump line already, and it's just flying through the air and just oh, it's an indescribable freedom. I
yeah,
love this more than I liked skateboarding as a kid.
yeah,
And skateboarding basically shaped my life into
yeah,
like music and everything.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
we've
just
got something in common there. I mean, we've talked about that before.
yeah,
Downhill mountain biking, it's a thrill like no other. Like being on a bike, you're barreling down a hill, just hitting features and jumps, and so much so. I mean, I gotta check though when I broke my pelvis mountain biking in a bike park, and I'm not obviously. It was supposed to happen, but like I checked myself. I'm like, man, like that
yeah.
recovery sucked. It was awful.
What like you break your pelvis? There's no cast for a
There's
broken
no
pelvis.
cast. You're
What
just
do you do?
I'm
Lie on your
off
back?
off. I was on my back for 4 weeks, and then I was off for 8 weeks. No weight, non-weight bearing, with no cast, just in like what the heck, like crutches. Yeah, it was awful. And if I missed the curb one time, I remember one time I missed the curb and the thing went down in my foot. It was like pain, like I'd never.
Worse than the fall.
What's that? It was
Probably worse than
awful.
the fall.
Yeah, it was awful. But
Wow.
anyway, so I still love the mountain bike for sure. But man, I'm not gonna go as high as I would before. But
Don't
that was,
jinx me.
what's
Don't
that?
jinx me. Don't jinx me because I'm going right
No, I'm
after.
not, dude. I'm not. No, you'll be good. You're a much better rider than me. So
I also look like Buzz Lightyear coming down the mountain. I'm like that guy. I look like I'm going to play lacrosse with shoulder pads and everything. There's like,
hey, you're the smart one, right? It's like you
yeah,
see guys on motorcycles without helmets. You're like, really?
yeah, that's just
Doesn't make a
crazy.
whole lot of sense. But
That's ego.
yeah. So Steve, tell me, what's your biggest regret in life?
I think it goes back to our conversation before about not showing my light and not being a lion. Like, I
Yeah.
think my biggest regret in life was fearing the fearing not living up to the expectations of certain people and fearing confrontation with people just because they yell. And I'm not being a finger pointer. This is just a blanket statement
Yeah.
because I can name a handful of people.
Hmm.
And what it comes down to is my choice of letting that happen. These
Hmm.
aren't bad people. These are people that have their own shit just like I do and you do. Um, it's just I took the back seat and the beta role, if you will, thinking it was the right thing to do for that
Hmm.
situation. And that would be a regret.
Hmm.
I don't regret going through it though. I don't
Yeah.
regret how it went down because I learned so much.
Yeah.
It could be argued I wouldn't be where I'm at now if I went through it differently. You
Hmm.
know, I don't know, but um, I regret not being completely myself
Hmm.
at all times in life. Maybe that's the best way to
Hmm.
say it
Yeah.
without psychoanalyzing it too deep. Like I regret not letting my light shine, as you would say.
Yeah.
You
On
know,
that note, and we've talked about it, but I just want to kind of Here
Yeah.
you kind of summarize it. How are you making a difference in the world?
How am I making a difference in the world? I don't know. This is a hard thing to answer because it
It
feels
is.
like me, my. That's a struggle. We all like to talk about ourselves, but we don't at the same time.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, you don't do that. I'm basically giving you the platform to kind of
Yeah.
share. And because I think, and I'm just going to say this because what happens is in our lives, people that live unique lives, there's a ton of other people that want to do that, but need to be inspired, or they
Yeah.
need to relate to someone like you who's like them to give them permission to be like, whoa, he's
Yeah.
living his life and he realizes how he's living his life. I want to do the same thing.
Um, I think obviously with the gym, I'm helping people better themselves, like I said earlier, though, but it's deeper because I want people to feel that freedom. I want people to shake those shackles off themselves of that fear. And you can't be a help without being an example. I like being myself with people when I'll manipulate situations. I'm not gonna lie. When I can see where somebody's feeling nervous about something
Mhm.
because of judgment, and I'll be like, I'm gonna do this too. I don't care what they say. You're gonna follow me? Who gives a shit? You
Mhm.
know? And I love my friends. I don't
Mhm.
have a large family in the States,
Mhm.
so I have a huge pool of friends everywhere. And I love making my friends feel better.
Mhm.
I love helping them. I
Mhm.
love, I selfishly love doing things for people looking for nothing in return. And I
Yeah.
know that sounds super high and mighty, but like,
Yeah.
as much as one of my statements is I'm a cultivator of experiences, another one that keeps me in check is I never keep a tally. Because one thing that pisses me off is when somebody does something for me and then they expect,
Yeah.
well, I did this. And it's like,
Mhm.
don't ever do anything for me again. That's why you're
Right.
doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll drive down to where you are to
Yeah.
take your kids somewhere if you
Yeah.
need me to,
Yeah.
not expecting you to even give me a dime for gas.
Yeah.
But the only thing I expect is a friendship back.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
So I love just like boosting the people up that I love around me and
Mhm.
helping them see what I see in them.
Mhm.
And then that goes into my staff and the people that come to my gym and then my record label too. Like I remember the first time I went to an event and I thought my record label was just this little thing. And it is a little thing, but
Mhm.
like I went to this 3-day festival somebody talked me into. They're like, you should go, you're a record label, you should represent yourself. And walk around seeing people wearing shirts that have my record label on it.
What?
And yeah, and like coming up to me, they know who I am and they know my story. They
Mhm.
know how passionate I am about music. They know how I grew up in punk rock scene. And they're like,
Mhm.
oh, I remember I went to CBGB's this year. I was like, I was there too, and like creating those relationships and just, you know, I I don't know. Again, I'm on a tangent, but like I think I better the world by just not being a dick all the time. Somebody
Just
asked me once if I could put something on a billboard, what would it say? I said it would just say, "Don't be a dick." That's the golden rule. That just gets rid of everything. It's real easy.
and the people that get it will get it, and the other ones will be like, "Huh, that guy's an idiot." Like, actually, no, it's not that difficult.
Stop being a
It's
dick.
not
You would
that
just get rid of so many problems.
right.
Am I being a dick right now? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I said that. I meant
Yeah.
this. Am I being a dick right now? No. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's move forward.
Yeah. And that's actually non-gender. That's for male and females.
Yes, that's gender. That's everyone. Male,
It
female,
is.
everyone. Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa,
Right. Right.
kids.
Come on.
Infants can be dicks too sometimes. It's all good.
Yeah, let's break it down for sure. Steve, man, that's good stuff, buddy. Man, let's see here. I'm gonna wrap it up, buddy.
Yeah.
This has been an awesome conversation. I think probably the one of the things that hit me the most from our talk is um just your zeal for life and your zeal for being real. And second of all, your tagline, cultivator of experiences. I think I'm actually, if I'm gonna steal that one because I
Okay.
love it, because
Yeah.
that's what I want to be about too. I want to help people lead better lives, through just even seeing, like, for me, like, you're right, like, and I'll be completely honest, I think I was dealt a really bad set of cards. I
You know,
do.
you have a tough hand.
I did have a tough, but you know what? I'm still in the game.
Yeah,
I am
you gotta
still in the
make
game.
it. You can't. What are you gonna do? You
Yep.
know?
Yep. But with that being said, man, I've lived a full life and I've got so
Yeah.
much to be grateful for. So yeah, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that. Um, and I'm super stoked to share this. I can't wait,
Cool.
man. It's been really, really great. I know you were nervous, but man, you have nothing to be nervous about. This was just an awesome conversation. I feel like just even in the short time, my respect for you has gone up like another level. And I honestly, we need to hang out. Like I know we've talked
Yeah.
about it, and there's some things that we want to do, like that Baja 500 motorcycle thing. That's not been
Right.
forgotten. And
Yeah.
there's also some other things too that I'm going to share offline with you that I think we can connect for sure, because I
All
feel
good.
like, and this is why I did this podcast, there's people that you come across in your life that when you meet them, that you need to keep them close. It doesn't mean close that you need to connect with them every week, but you need to keep them close. You need to be like, whoa, that's right. Steve is one of those guys that's making a difference in this world. And he wants to do what you want to do, and so you're kind of like-minded, so you need to stay close because there's power in that. There's
Yes.
power in people, and we can do a whole lot more as a group of people, of like-minded people, than just kind of one off. We're not made like that. We're made for companionship. We're made for community, you know what I mean? So
Got
yeah.
to be Voltron every once in a while, man. You need the team.
Yeah.
You know, you got to link together and just
It's
take
so
off.
true. So
But
true.
I also, in defense of, not defense, but like, thank you for all the kind words and the
Mhm.
appreciation. Like, it means a lot. But like, you and your sister, I don't want to leave out Julie. Like,
Yeah.
you guys were overly awesome, which made me feel very comfortable to be myself.
Mhm.
And then when people are cool to me, it makes me want to be more cool. You know, the reciprocation is there. And like the immediate mutual respect and interest in my life for no reason was absolutely a catalyst to make me 100% myself and
Mhm.
present. I think we're all a gift. If you have like, everybody has their strong points and they know what they are. It's
Yeah.
just having the confidence to be able to talk about it and
Yeah.
not feel cocky. But like, if I feel respected and loved, right, that's
Mhm.
what it comes down to. There's a love. It doesn't need to be a level 10, but like,
Yeah.
I want to gift you who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
want my best self for
Yeah.
Clay and Julie, because they were
Yeah.
so good to me and
Yeah.
generous and welcoming.
Hmm.
Like, why would I want to make their life harder?
Right.
You know, I
Right.
want to support you. I want to pay full price because I want to see your company grow. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to take advantage, you know?
Mhm.
So it's a reciprocation. It's a
Yeah.
vibe. Like you said, there's an immediate connection, of course. You're not always going to connect with everybody. And
Yeah.
then, but I'm very fortunate. And I think life is super interesting. Like, I got involved with your company for one reason, and
Mhm.
now we're all the way over here.
Yeah.
And that's cool because maybe that was the whole reason.
Right.
You know, I'd rather go ride dirt bikes than work on my business anyway, you
Yeah.
know?
No doubt. No doubt. Steve, thank you so much for being part of this Shake the Dust podcast.
Thank you.
I can't wait to share it with everybody, like I said before. And yeah, man, let's wrap this up.